All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. As usual, I'm your host, Mark Pierce. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. It is Saturday. I was glad to get to Saturday today. I don't know, it just felt like a long week. I don't know about you guys. It is October 3rd. We are into Rocktober. Looking forward to this month. We got a lot of stuff to cover this month. We've done, 170 shows or something like that, and there's so many bands and songs we have not covered. So I'm excited for that. Let's run down what happened today in history. Today in 1945, 10-year-old Elvis Presley makes his first public appearance at a dairy show, and he sings the song Old Shep. 1967, Woody Guthrie dies. Big influence on Mr. Bob Dylan. 1978, Aerosmith bail out 30 of their concert goers for getting arrested for smoking pot at their show in Fort Wayne. 1987, the number one song in the UK is Mars with Pump Up the Volume. You remember that song if you're a certain age. The sample of that song, of which is in one of my favorite rap songs, Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim, especially the long 12-inch mix of that. Maybe we'll do that one day here on Song of the Day. 1992, this was a pretty big deal. Sinead O'Connor was on Saturday Night Live, and she finished her song. Everyone remember this? She finished her song, and then out of nowhere pulled out a picture of Pope John Paul II and tore the picture up in protest of sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Total and complete stunned silence in the crowd. NBC ends up getting fined $2.5 million. Hard to figure why that was, but anyway. 2000, in the year 2000, Benjamin Orr dies, and this conversation was in the last 10 years or so with Sarah, talking about Benjamin Orr, and she says, well, who's Benjamin Orr? And I said, well, he's in the Cars, he sang some of their songs, and she was like, wait, what? Hold on, stop right now. She's like, I thought Rick Ocasek sang all of the Cars songs, and I told her that that was not true, and I went down to list some of the songs that he sang, which included Drive, obviously that huge hit, Just What I Needed, and Let's Go. I mean, I went through a bunch of them, right? Now, of course, she was shocked. She was just beside herself that there was somebody else in the Cars that sang. But it turns out, to be fair, she named all of her favorite Cars songs, and they were all the ones that were sung by Rick Ocasek. And if she saw a music video, that's who she saw playing. So that's just pretty funny. Anyway, birthdays today. 71 years old is Lindsey Buckingham, is 71. Who knows what happened there? What did he do to get kicked out of the band? We have no idea. Something happened. No one's talking. It's crazy. But we got to see that show last year. Amazing, with Neil Finn from Crowded House. That was awesome. Anyway, Lindsey Buckingham, who remembers his solo hit, Go Insane? That was a pretty good song. So anyway, he's 71. Today would have been Stevie Ray Vaughan's birthday. He was born in 1954. Died in 1990 at age 35. He was a young guy. Tommy Lee is 58. Drummer for Motley Crue. We all know who he is. And Gwen Stefani is 51. So that's your music news for today. I'm Kurt Loader. Let's see what's going on. I'm excited for today's anniversary. This is a great record, and it's one of my favorite all-time records. Now I don't know about you, but can you name like a handful or however many albums where you listen to the whole record, every song is good, not a greatest hits, not live? I mean, those are hard to come by, right? I got a bunch, but I'm just saying it's a little unusual to like every single song, and this one is one of my all-time favorite albums ever. I think I've played it. It's up there in the top 10, top 5 maybe for most played records by me. So on this date in 1983, Genesis puts out their self-titled record. It's their 12th studio album. There it is right there. This is a great record. If you guys haven't listened to this lately, the whole thing, Listen to it today, this weekend, tomorrow. This is amazing. This is some good stuff right here. Now, what's the story with this? Genesis coming off of Three Sides Live tour. That was a pretty big tour for them. They took a break, almost a year, I think, and then they decided to sit down and start recording again. They built their own studio, so it was their first time working in their own studio in Surrey, England, which was brand new for them, so they had never had their own studio space where they could write and record all in one. So that was a big difference. There was no pressure for studio fees or anything like that. Definitely a little bit of a musical change in direction. They said they were done with their progressive rock, art rock phase from the 70s. They had just felt like they had worn that part out, and they wanted to do some more rock and roll and shorter songs. And obviously these are all possible singles on here. It generated 5 singles, I think. And they named this record because everyone contributed equally. This for the first time. It's not like people just showed up with a song and then they worked it out. They would work it out in person and record what they were doing, and then they would take the pieces of it later and then piece stuff together. So that was a first for them. This was a huge record, massive success, #1 in the UK. I think it was #8 in the United States. And I just remember this in high school. I mean, it just was like song after song. It was so good. So they did quite well. This was around the time, I know I mentioned this podcast before, Broken Record, if you ever find the one about Genesis, but this is around that time where this had never happened in music history and would never happen again, where a band was in the top 10 with its record, and like all of its members were in the top 10 or 20 with solo records, all at the same time. Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, Genesis, even Mike Rutherford from Mike and the Mechanics. They all had hits all at the same time. It had never been done before. It's a fascinating episode. Check it out. So what do we got going on this particular record? Again, this is so good. You got Mama, the lead single. That's the first single that came out. The band wanted it to be the first single. They weren't sure that the label was going to go for it, and it turns out they did. It's a little bit different for them. It's a little darker. Apparently the laugh that he does in that song is based loosely on the laugh that you hear in the song The Message by Grandmaster Flash, which they had just been played by the producer. I guess I can kind of hear it, but it's hard to say. Then you got That's All. I mean, That's All has been played a lot on the radio. I think that is a great song. I don't get tired of that song, so I just like it. I don't know. I think it's a great song. So even though it gets played a lot, I still enjoy it to this day. Home by the Sea. Now we're talking. We're talking Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea, two of my favorite songs ever by anyone. I mean, this is good stuff. It's a story of a burglar that breaks into a house that's haunted by ghosts, and the ghosts keep him captive and tell their stories. Apparently that's what it's about. But the drumming in that and just the echoes, and just so good. If you haven't listened to Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea lately, check that out. Illegal Alien, actually the weakest track for me. It was popular, and it was played a lot, and it was supposed to be tongue-in-cheek also about the plights of immigrants, but that's one I could do without it, or either way. I mean, it's fine. I'm not a huge fan of that particular song, and I didn't like the video either. So, Taking It All Too Hard, great song. Now that is a great song too. Again, if you haven't listened to this record lately, listen to it. Just a Job to Do, solid. Silver Rainbow. Yep. See, these are songs you don't even think about. You need to listen to, because that's a good song too. It's Gonna Get Better. Now that also great song. It's Gonna Get Better was one of the singles, I think, and they didn't make a video for it, and they never performed it live ever as a band. That's a great song. Does that cover all the songs on there? Yeah, there you go. Taking It All Too Hard, Just a Job to Do, Illegal Alien, Home by the Sea, Second Home by the Sea, Gonna Get Better. Got them all. Again, I can't say it enough. If you have not played this record lately, play it front to back. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. And for me, if I'm going to have to pick a song off this record, normally I would go with Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea, or maybe Mama. But you have to play Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea together. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea. Both of them. That's your song of the day, because it kind of runs into another. And we'll throw Mama on there because that's a tie. Have a good one. We're at 10 minutes. We're going to let you go. Have a great Saturday. Looking forward to the rest of this month. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.